Ferrari's Charles Leclerc has lamented his Spanish Grand Prix opening stint stoush with teammate Carlos Sainz, stating he didn't understand the point given their clear strategy to save tires. The prancing horseman locked horns from the outset, with Sainz going aggressive on lap 3, with a move around the outside of Leclerc into turn 1 for 5th place, which left the rapid Monegasque with front wing damage following contact. Leclerc, though, ultimately got ahead after the stops, with both red cars finishing where they started in 5th and 6th place. It's a bit unnecessary, but I also understand that it's his home race and it's also an important moment of his career, so I guess he wanted to do something a bit spectacular. But I probably wasn't the right person to do that with, he said. Aston Martin Performance Director Tom McCulloch says team co-owner Lawrence Stroll is staying calm amid slow progress at the squad, despite rumors his response to ineffective Imola upgrades was volcanic. The Green squad is 5th in the standings after 10 rounds with no podiums and 58 points, well down on its results at the same point in 2023, when it was 3rd with 6 podiums and 181 points. But McCulloch, in a chat with the sports official podcast F1 Nation, has played down rumors of fire from the top.
Lawrence is, even though he can be a passionate, should we say, member of the team, he understands that Formula One isn't overnight. He's been in the industry for many, many years, actually, watching from the sides, but also involved with teams for 30-odd years, and he knows the level it's at now, that it's about building the right group of people, giving them the right facilities, giving them the right leadership and direction, and steering the ship to making the car as competitive as possible.
Alpine shocked the sport in Spain when it announced its disgraced former team boss Flavio Briatore as executive advisor, with reports stating staff at its Enstone and Viry-Châtillon bases were only told late last week. Alpine has brought in Briatore to recruit the right F1 people, including drivers, to turn around its fortunes, despite the fact he was dismissed in 2009 due to his involvement in the infamous Singapore Crashgate saga, for which the FIA handed him a lifetime ban, one that he overturned in 2010 via an appeal in the French courts. Briatore has been working with F1 on sponsorship deals in recent times, but Alpine's role is his first team placing for 15 years. Esteban Ocon looks set to beat his rivals to a 2025 Haas seat, with the American squad looking for a reliable point scorer to sit alongside rookie Oliver Behrman, who's expected to get the other drive. Haas has 2 of the 9 yet to be confirmed seats for 2025, but while it has no shortage of options, it's understood that the team has shunned a significant offer from Zhou Guanyu's backers in favor of Ocon, with the Frenchman far more metronomic with his results across a campaign and with a win under his belt. Meanwhile, incumbent Kevin Magnussen says he's still in the mix as a known quantity, though isn't expecting news soon. They've told me that they're not in a rush, and that's okay. They're in control there, he said. Fernando Alonso endured a tough Spanish race this year, with the veteran 12th, but he still made a splash ahead of the event, with Aston Martin hosting a STEM subject workshop and karting day for 30 students at the Champions Museum in Oviedo. Alonso, one of the sport's greatest ever drivers, was keen to inspire the next generation, not just with his achievements on show in his museum, but also demonstrate real-world applications for STEM, an acronym for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics. The students got a chance to discuss various subjects and F1 concepts with Aston Martin's brightest talents, including Alonso, before suiting up and heading out on track for some fun.
Well, I think I'm obviously I feel honored to, I'm privileged to be part of Aston Martin and Aramco in this type of initiatives. I think for me it was, and it is very important to help the next generation. I was one of the first drivers, Spanish drivers into Formula One. And probably back then I didn't have the facilities, I didn't have the knowledge, and I didn't have the country just embracing Formula One. Now we have those.
The event followed similar programs in Saudi Arabia and China, held earlier this year ahead of their respective races. Barcelona was the place to be last weekend, but for many of the teams it was a chance to catch up with their floating counterparts at Port Vell, with the city this year hosting the holy grail of world sailing, the America's Cup, and the opening regattas beginning in August. Mercedes joined Ineos Britannia, with team boss Toto Wolff and George Russell out on the water, while Sir Lewis Hamilton remained on land and marveled not just at the operations, but the tech transfer, with many of his former engineers choosing to swap aero for hydrodynamics.
I have seen an America's Cup boat, particularly close up and riding one back in 2008, I think it was, to see how far the technology's come, but also to see like some of the machine work on all the hydraulics. You can see it's, you know straight away, like the Formula One team's done that. So it's been really cool to see.
While over at its rival Alinghi Red Bull Racing, F1's Daniel Ricciardo and MotoGP's Marc Marquez both rang the squad's giant brass bell that signals every dock out, before suiting up to face the spray on the water with the team's hydrofoil capable of 54 knots or 100 kilometers per hour.
The boats go so fast, and the agility, and everything's very precise. It's a lot like what we do. Small movements. Everything is a lot of finesse.
Mercedes technical director James Allison says emerging star Andrea Kimmy Antonelli has been pretty bloody good at testing the Silver Squad's 2022 car between F2 rounds. Mercedes is preparing Antonelli for his F1 debut, which could come this season after the FIA eased the super license age restriction. But while there are concerns about the 17-year-old's lack of experience, given his jump from winning the Formula Regional Championship by Alpine title to F2, Allison told the sport's official podcast Beyond the Grid that they will melt away if he shows his talent on track.
If the driver has the temperament and the skill, they will step up to that ask, and all things point towards Kimmy having those things. So yeah, huge ask, but if the talent's there, he will answer it in a way that will make everyone go, blimey.
Silverstone is feeling the pinch of Red Bull's recent dominance and the global cost of living crisis, with the iconic racing circuit yet to sell out next month's British Grand Prix. The circuit is currently projecting a crowd of up to 470,000 people this year, 10,000 short of last year's record number, including a capacity drop to improve the spectator experience. But the race's organizers see less fevered ticket purchasing as a return to norm following the post-COVID bounce, with Red Bull's sustained success and tighter pockets generally also playing their part. Historically, we've always had to promote up until the end, but definitely there was a discernible bounce post-COVID, said Stuart Pringle, Silverstone's managing director. Mercedes Sir Lewis Hamilton has criticized the British Grand Prix ticket prices, stating they're hugely expensive for a family day out. F1 CEO Stefano Domenicali says that it's the goal to have more sprint weekends on the calendar, with the Italian stating the numbers show that there is interest in it. Austria ahead is 2024's third sprint weekend of 6 in total, double 2021's count when the format was initially introduced to the sport. Domenicali, though, stopped short of providing a target number of sprint weekends. But F1 is far behind its two-wheel counterpart MotoGP, with a sprint at every event on its 20-round calendar. Across the Atlantic, Indycar was racing at iconic American circuit Laguna Seca, where Chip Ganassi's two-time champion driver Alex Palou emerged victorious for the second time in 3 years to take the standings lead. Palou made the most of the chaotic race and its restarts to lift the trophy. 3 XF1 drivers finished inside the top 10. Thanks for watching. To stay up to speed on all things Formula One, make sure you hit the subscribe button.